So you have all of your career tools ready to go. You've got a resume, you've got an updated LinkedIn profile, and you know how to write a killer cover letter. It's time, though, to think about what would happen if you got the interview. It's very important we do this before you get the interview. That's because they might want to interview you right away and you won't have a lot of time to prepare. And so when we prep for interviewing, we have to be thinking about what do we know about ourselves and how are we going to answer these questions properly. One of the most important things that you can do is focus on responding to behavioral questions. So behavioral questions are those open-ended questions that they'll ask you like, tell me about a time where you had to deal with a difficult coworker, or explain to me the greatest challenge you've had in your career and how you've overcome it. When have you failed and what did you do? They want to get inside your head. They want to understand how you think. And it's important that you know how to answer those questions. Now, the secret to answering any interview question properly is something we call the experience, learn, and grow model. And it's where you outline what experience you had, then you talk about what you learned from the experience, and then most importantly, you close by explaining what you plan to use with that knowledge or what you plan to do with it. How are you going to apply it so that the next company you work for gets the benefit of you growing as a professional? When you answer your questions in that fashion, you're letting them inside your head, but you're also guiding them down a path that says, hey, I know how to self-manage. I know how to take care of my professional self. I'm constantly adding value and growing as a professional. It is very important that you know how to do this. I will tell you that interview prep is one of the most significant parts of job search, and we have built an entire separate module on this. It's one of the most comprehensive interview prep tools you'll ever see, and it's one of our courses that you can purchase. So if you really feel you need that extra help, I would encourage you to check that out. But otherwise, for you, for today, you should be focused on saying, what are those most common questions I know I'll be asked? Sit down and write down every interview question you've ever been asked. And better still, ask other people, what interview questions have you experienced? From there, craft your answers. Write them out using that experience, learn, and grow model. By writing these things out, by reviewing them, by editing them, you're also training your brain to be able to respond to them. And that's the single most important part about interview prep, honestly. When you get in there, you're under the gun, you're under pressure, you're going to be nervous. If you're having to come up with answers for the very first time, you're going to have trouble. There'll be a lot of ums, there'll be a lot of ahs, there'll be a lot of pauses, and you're going to look unprepared. But if you've tried to anticipate questions and you've tried to think about the answers that you would really want to share in that format, you're going to be a lot calmer, you can be more relaxed. And if you get a curveball, it's going to be easier to respond to it because likely you've done enough interview prep that you've got some form of an answer that you can pull out and share. So cannot stress it enough, interview prep is key. Today's milestone, write down every question you've ever been asked in an interview and also every question you'd be afraid to be asked in an interview. And then take the time to write out your answers using the experience, learn, and grow model. That way, you'll be a lot more prepared and you can move on to the next module.